Picture this, you're in the 89th minute of a tied weekend league match, your striker is through on goal, you line up the finesse shot, and your game freezes for just a split second. That tiny stutter cost you the match. Now you're wondering, I've got a powerful gaming PC, so why does EAFC still feel terrible? Well, the problem probably isn't your graphic card, and it probably isn't your PC. If EAFC 26 is anything like previous releases, PC players will once again be dealing with random stutters, inconsistent frame pacing, and input delay. But here's the good news. One of the biggest performance mistakes isn't inside the game at all, it's inside the Nvidia control panel. Actually, it's not just one setting, it's a combination of settings that many players accidentally configure the wrong way. Today I'll show you exactly what those settings are, why they matter, and how to set them up for the smoothest possible gameplay. Let's get into it. Before I show you the fix, if this video helps you improve your gameplay, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I post the best EAFC optimization guides, graphic settings, and input delay fixes every week. Now let's fix your FPS. It's not just a bad PC port. If you played previous EAFC games on PC, you probably experienced it. Random stutter, lag during corners, frame drops during celebrations, gameplay that feels strangely heavy, even on expensive hardware. Because of that, the internet is full of conflicting advice. One guide says turn VSync on, another says turn it off, one tells you to cap your FPS, another says unlimited is better. So who's actually right? The truth is, the problem usually isn't a single setting. It's the relationship between three technologies. I call them the sync trinity. The sync trinity. First, there's G-Sync or FreeSync. This is your monitor's variable refresh rate technology. Instead of refreshing at a fixed speed, your monitor matches whatever frame rate your GPU is producing. The result, smoother gameplay, less tearing, and much better frame pacing. Next, there's VSync. This is the older method. It also removes screen tearing, but it forces your GPU to wait for your monitor. That usually increases input latency, which is why competitive players have avoided it for years. Finally, there's your FPS limiter. This simply caps how many frames your GPU is allowed to render. By itself, each of these settings works fine. The problem starts when they're all configured differently. Many players enable G-Sync, then leave in-game VSync enabled, or they disable VSync everywhere and let their frame rate run completely uncapped. Both can cause problems. If your FPS exceeds your monitor's refresh rate, you actually leave the G-Sync operating range. That's when stutter or screen tearing can return. So instead of making these settings fight each other, we're gonna make them work together. As Nvidia settings, let's set everything up properly. Step 1, open EAFC 26, go to display settings, set display mode to full screen. This usually provides the lowest latency. Next, turn VSync off. This is important. We're gonna let the Nvidia driver handle synchronization instead. Now set the frame rate limit to no limit. Don't worry, we'll add much better frame limiter shortly. Save your settings, then close the game. Step 2, open Nvidia control panel. Go to Manage 3D Settings, then Program Settings. Add EAFC 26.exe. Now apply these settings. Max frame rate. This is the most important one. Set it 3 FPS below your monitor's refresh rate. Examples: 144 Hz, set it to 141 FPS. 165 Hz, use 162 FPS. 240 Hz, set it to 237 FPS. This keeps your frame rate inside the G-Sync range instead of constantly bouncing in and out of it. Power management mode, set this to prefer maximum performance. This helps prevent your GPU from constantly changing clock speeds during gameplay, which can sometimes improve frame consistency. Low latency mode. If EAFC 26 is using DirectX 11, set this to Ultra. If it's running DX12, leave it off because DX12 games generally manage frame queuing themselves. Vertical sync. This is the setting that confuses everyone. Turn Nvidia control panel VSync on. Yes, even though we turned it off inside the game, here's why. The in-game VSync and Nvidia VSync are not doing the same job. The game's VSync adds unnecessary latency. The Nvidia version acts as a safety net. Since we have already capped our FPS, it almost never activates. But if your frame rate briefly exceeds your monitor's refresh rate, it prevents screen tearing. This combination, G-Sync, Nvidia VSync, and an FPS cap is widely considered the best setup for smooth gameplay. That's all you need. Finally, go to Setup G-Sync. Make sure G-Sync is enabled for full screen applications. Click Apply. You're done. Common myths. Let's clear up a few misconceptions. Myth 1. Turning G-Sync off for lower input lag. Not really. You're giving up one of the best features your monitor supports. Correctly configured G-Sync adds very little latency while dramatically improving frame consistency. Myth 2. The in-game FPS limiter is enough sometimes, but driver level frame limiters are generally more consistent and often provide smoother frame pacing. Myth 3. Turn VSync off everywhere. Not anymore. That advice comes from before variable refresh rate monitors became common. With G-Sync, driver level VSync acts as protection, not constant synchronization. Still seeing stutter? There are few more things worth checking. Disable overlays, Discord, Steam, Xbox Game Bar, GeForce Experience, MSI Afterburner, Riva Tuner, and any overlay can potentially introduce stutter. Next, reduce crowd quality. If EAFC includes strand-based hair, which it does, turn it off. These settings have historically been some of the biggest performance killers. Finally, after updating your graphics driver, play one full match before judging performance. Many modern games build shader caches during the first few minutes, which can temporarily cause stuttering. Conclusion: so the settings hurting your performance was never just one setting, it was the way your synchronization settings were working against each other. By combining G-Sync, Nvidia VSync, and a proper FPS cap, you create smooth, consistent frame delivery pipeline. The goal isn't simply getting the highest FPS number, it's getting stable frame times, lower input delay, and gameplay that feels smooth from kickoff to the final whistle. If this guide helped you, leave a comment below. Tell me your monitor's refresh rate and whether these settings improved your gameplay. And if you want more straightforward optimization guides like this, hit subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright guys, have a great day.